Welcome back, everyone, to the Latin Sukkot, this very important event, one of celebration and unifying in the light of cultural diversity, hosted by the Consulate General of Israel and Impacto Latino. As you know, we are celebrating the alignment of the Jewish holiday Sukkot and National Hispanic Heritage Month, which combines to create a very special Latin Sukkot, which we are holding today virtually because of the effects of COVID-19. Yet we still have an incredible program for all of you, and we are so happy to welcome so many amazing leaders and advocates of diversity and education from New York, but also with ties all over the world. This will definitely be a Latin Sukkot we will never forget. I myself am an Argentinian with Jewish background, and I'm so excited to be a part of this. Thank you all for joining us, and let's get started.
Shalom, and welcome to Sukkot Shalom, the Sukkah of Peace. Sukkot is a festival where we celebrate very joyously, and we also build Sukkot, we build huts outdoors, and we invite guests known as Ushpizin. Today, we're going to be presenting a wonderful guest who will be joining us to express words of warmth not only to us in the Jewish community, but to all. And brought to you by the Consulate General of the State of Israel and the JCRC, the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone for joining us. There's no better time for us to gather with our friends in the Latino community than the Sukkot holiday, which falls amidst National Hispanic Heritage Month. Today we have with us the Artistic Director and CEO of Ballet Hispanico, Eduardo Vilaro.
We have with us Eduardo Vilaro, the Artistic Director and CEO of the renowned Ballet Hispanico. He has been part of the Ballet Hispanico family since 1985 as a dancer and an educator, after which he began a 10-year record of achievement as founder and artistic director of Luna Negra Dance Theater in Chicago. Mr. Vilaro has also infused Ballet Hispanico's legacy with a bold and eclectic brand of contemporary dance that reflects America's changing cultural landscape. Born in Cuba and raised in New York from the age of 6, he is a frequent speaker on the merits of cultural diversity and dance education. Welcome, Mr. Vilaro.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
So my very first question, how are you celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month?
I celebrate Hispanic heritage every single day, just by what we do, you know, as people who have families and cultures, we tend to gravitate to that to make us feel comfortable. And I think now during the pandemic, even more so, I'm cooking more Cuban dishes, right? And I'm trying to make sure my family is sharing that. And so I'm celebrating that personally. That's what I'm doing. I also decided that this month I'm going to see more Hispanic art. So the movies that we're watching, thankfully Netflix has some great Latin American movies and programs, and reading also. So I just wanted this, because we are social distancing, I decided personally I'm gonna just do a few extra little things in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. Now, for Ballet Hispanico, it's even bigger because, of course, it's such a wonderful platform. We have a virtual platform that we started because of the pandemic, Be Unidos, or Be United, and we have turned that into our Hispanic Heritage Celebration, which is now called Be Unidos por la Cultura. And so we are celebrating all the Hispanic and Latinx essences with classes of salsa, with wonderful chats, charlas. We are also a platform for other Latinx dance companies, so we're inviting them to show their work, and then I have a conversation with the choreographer. And then the best of all, my favorite is on Fridays we're sharing recipes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I know also that Ballet Hispanico takes some exceptional trips to Israel. What inspired you to take Ballet Hispanico on these trips?
We are not just one. We did not come from one. We've crossed many paths. And the Latino culture has this strong connection to Israel and the Jewish culture. And so it had always been my want to work with an Israeli choreographer or a Jewish choreographer. I myself have made works about the Sephardic culture. And so it was very important to continue to blend that into the reality of what makes up being Hispanic or Latinx today. So we've been to Israel quite a few times. I've loved it each time. It is a beautiful country, and it has a rich, rich history of the arts. So we went and we performed in many different cities. The audience was just superb. And we got to do what we do. At Ballet Hispanico, we do a lot of community work. So one of my favorite things about the trip was I went to Dimona, out in the desert. It's far from, I don't know if you've probably been to Israel. So, and Dimona, there was this group of, African Israelis, and we started a program which now we have a relationship with them. We've had one of their students come to our summer programs. We were able to give them a scholarship. And so there is a reciprocation of not only arts and culture, but of love. And that, I think that is so important. And I'm so grateful for the Consulate General who has partnered with us in some of this. It's been really remarkable.
And as the CEO of Ballet Hispanico, how do you support and protect Latinos and just the interest of minorities in general?
Well, so education is the main arm of that support. To be able to give young Latinos the opportunities to see themselves beyond where they might be. And we work with a lot of disenfranchised communities, both here in the city and when we go out. Ballet Hispanico is committed to bringing this art form to everyone, not just to those people who can sit in theaters whenever they like, which is also a beautiful thing. So we have done work, like I said, in Israel, in Dimona. Here in the United States, we've gone to states where we work with kids who are incarcerated youth. We've worked with migrant families in California. And, the experience becomes just much more than a dance class or workshop. It is a sharing workshop. And what best but the arts to be able to bridge that community, to be able to lend something to the progress of these Black and Brown students and Latino students.
And as someone who often combines cultural diversity with dance education, how do you think art contributes to cultural unity and even social change?
Oh my God, the arts have this incredible magic. It is magic that everyone can sit in a theater at the same time and watch the same thing and have extremely different opinions, emotions, thoughts. What a beautiful thing. And they can't say anything. They have to allow it to process. But then you leave and you can come together and have a dialogue about what you saw. I think that's magical, right? And I think that is one of the beauties of the arts, because it opens your perspective, makes you sit with it, makes you change your perspective, makes you go into your intellect and try to dig out what you just saw, what you experienced, what you feel about it. And then the sharing part with other people who you've been with, or sometimes you meet other people and you say, hey, did you see that show? Oh yeah, I saw that show too. And you start an interesting conversation, sometimes more than just, oh, I liked it or I didn't like it. The arts is not like entertainment. The arts force you, beg you to describe and discuss and go into yourself a little bit more.
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Eduardo Vilaro, Artistic Director and CEO of Ballet Hispanico.
It's been un placer tremendo. Gracias.
Un placer tremendo.